back to pressing F6. We have reverse. We also have time stretch. Now, the unique thing about this new MPC is that once you've got the right size of the sample you're trying to use, well, look, it gives us the original tempo of that sound. That sample is exactly 103 BPM. Got that? And then we can even time stretch it. That means we could take that sample and we could stretch it out. You know what I mean? We can make that sample fit something. Now, what we're actually doing here is that we're going to make the sample fit a time. Like, we'll fit, this is 103 BPMs. We might make it go to 120 BPM. It'll be my new tempo. Let's check that out. Okay, now I'm going to get ready to time switch the sample up. This is kind of cool. Time switching allows you to like take a sample and keep the same exact pitch, except change the speed. Because if you don't, you know, you hear a Mickey Mouse sound, a guy turns the record play and turns the table real fast, and the record goes, or it goes slow, and it down like this, and it's real slow. Well, look, that is an idea of what we want to stop doing. We want to keep it so it's the same pitch. We just want to slow the sample down. That's something right there. Now, what the unique feature in the MPC2500 is, we move the cursor down here, we can set up a preset here. These presets are used to allow us to get the right sound frequency and arrange the sound sample so it sounds perfect at a particular preset. So there's an A, B, C for female vocal, for a male vocal, also for low male vocal, you know, like that Luther Vandross thing, and a regular vocal, maybe a background vocal thing going on, or the high frequency rhythm section, like maybe some congas and some cowbells, or a low frequency section, or a mid frequency ABC. Here's a low frequency rhythm ABC, like some really bass, you know, deep bass music. Here's a percussion preset, and here we have a low frequency percussion preset. That's staccato, you know, staccato. And we've got a low frequency slow. So we have music also. If you sample some music and it's all music with the right preset. Now A is much more than B. That means it'll take a shorter period of time to set it up. B will take a little longer. And C will be the longest in all these presets. It'll be the longest calculation. It'll take longer to actually take that sound file and time stretch it, but it'll sound the best. We can also adjust our sample. So our adjustment to adjust it. In case we think it's not so good, we may press adjust either up or down to adjust how well this preset works. Now the best way to use it is to experiment with your sounds and get used to how the MPC can manipulate the actual time stretching capability of the sample you choose. Now I can also choose tempo here. And here it says here, detect tempo. Preset do it will detect sample tempo and enter to current tempo find. See that? Cancel that out. So I have a tempo set right here, which is like 120 for this one beat right there. See, that's 120? And I could use this preset, let's say, for example, here. That's like a beat that sounds, it's got a low feel, right? A lot of bottom to it. And some congas. So I consider that to be like a little bit of a low frequency feel to it for me. I'm going to go back to a low frequency rhythm section. And I'll use the quick one. I'll use the A for low frequency here. This A one. And it'll make a whole new sample. My tempo is set there to 120. I don't think I want to. I want to have something different. That's too fast. I can like a little quick dance stuff. I only punch the numbers in. I go like, maybe set it to like 110. I like that. That's good. I'll press enter. And I want to have it set to 110. Now, I can press do it. And it says here, it'll make a new sample, which will be called beat 5. Keeps as new sample. Overwrites the original. I do not want to overwrite the original. I want to have a new sample. I've got plenty of memory. I want to let me play it though. See that? Wow. It's the same pitch, but faster. I can keep it. It's kind of cool. Or retry. Let's try to retry. Now watch this. I'm going to go to another preset. It sounds good, but it could sound better. I'll use B. And watch this. I'll press do it. And look at that. It did it already. Let's play it. See, it sounds a little bit better. Not so tinny. Because the B calculation will get you a little bit better than the first A calculation will get you. Now, I'll retry it again. I might as well go all the way. Let's see how it sounds with the C calculation going onto it. I'll press do it. Wow, that's pretty quick. And now I'll press play. That sounds the same as the original. See that? That's the original. Here's the one we just did. We can compare how it sounds faster and how it sounded originally, and we can compare the quality of the sample. We can compare the quality of this sample, and we can say, I like that sample, I like it, oh, it sounds the same. We can keep it if we want to. If we do, we just press keep. And now we got a new sample, which is B. See right there? It beats 5. And we got the original sample, which is beats 4. The original is like, and the 5 is like this. And so we can time stretch any sample. We got another feature I'm going to show you here, and we're going to go to edit. And now we're at pitch shift. This is right after time stretch. We got pitch shift. We can change the pitch of the sample. This is kind of really cool also. We can change the pitch, but keep the right speed. This is a great feature. The MPC2500 is like a really great new machine because it actually gets the stuff I've been wanting to do for years with samples. I do actually on my computer. I can now do on my MPC and have really a lot of fun with it. So watch this. I've got it set here for like a -12 in pitch. Let's be really serious about it. And we still have more presets. We've got presets for the pitch shifting also. I'll do it, and watch this. See, it made it like a low thing. That's kind of cool. Now I can either keep it, or I can overwrite the original, or I can retry. I'll retry. Okay, as you can see, right here we are in trim. So in trim mode, we can trim our sample down. We can also move our cursor over here. You see the left and the right side of this actual sample field. And now I'm going to go to loop. Now here in loop, we can adjust our loop setting. We have the loop start point, which is right there. And we also have our loop lock. So we can move right there, and we can unlock the loop, or we can lock the loop. And here we have, right there as you can see, is the endpoint. Now we can press any pad, and you'll hear the sample. Got that? Now play straight through. We can go right up here to the top though and put the loop on. And we hit a pad, and it loops. Now, normally we can hit this pad right here, and of course it'll loop. We're trying to loop off. Because we know this pad is set for loop. We can hit any other pad now, once loop is on, and it will loop. Here in loop mode. Okay, now we're going to use these unique features that have come with this new MPC2500. We're going to use our slice sample edit. It's like a chop thing. So now we're here and we have the sample right here. And we're going to press chop. Opens our chop shop up. Here's our chop shop right there. Now in chop shop we have two different modes. We have auto and we have equal. Now equal we'll set it to equal values. That means we'll have each sample be set to an equal value. In auto, we can actually set up a kind of setup for the sample to be chopped up in. For example, we have recovery time. Now, in recovery time, it sets the minimum or the max amount of time between attacks. Like between the first bass drum and the next time that sound hits, we have to make sure that those attack points are different. Let me cancel it, you'll see. Like, here's the first bass drum, and here's where the snare comes in. So I press the, that's boom, pat, boom, pat. These are attack points. And here's a silent point right there. That's a silent point in the sample itself. We want to make sure the recovery time between this and this is enough, so that you don't have it where it like just cuts off. And so what happens in a chop shot, it allows us to have this recovery time. Too much recovery time, you won't even hear any kind of attack at all. It'll be like straight through. So we can set this to a smaller amount of time here. Will give us a little bit better. If you have a lot of attacks in a song, like a lot of drum parts that go up and down, you see a bigger waveform with a lot of those actual peaks, and a bunch of them in there. Well, you can use smaller recovery time, a much smaller recovery time. Then we have threshold level. Goes back here. What I'm doing is about 40, maybe 50, 45. I like the last. Now here, this threshold level, this sets the detectable level of an attack. That means it detects when attack's coming up. That hit, that attack right there. Before the next attack comes up. Now, the smaller the value, the more sensitive the detection will be. So if you select a very low value, everything will register as attacked. You don't want that. 50 is good enough in this case. We also have our sensitivity setting. Now here, this sets the sensitivity used while detecting the attack. Selecting a smaller value will make the detecting process more sensitive towards varying attacks. Be very sensitive to that. So I might bring this down a little bit, let's say 45 right now. And we're now going to make it adjusted at those certain levels. Now I'll press do it. And look what happened. See what happened here? It made everything into a little, there's one piece there, one piece here, one piece there, there. These are little samples. See that? All those samples right there. And we could play a pad right now. That's that sample right there. Now we can go back here to, this is sample 3. That's sample 2. That's sample 1. See this? That's 3. That's sample 4. Sample 5. Here's sample 6. Here's sample 7. Here's sample 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Wow, look at that. So the cut is, all these little samples are cut up perfectly well for us. Now, I can go back to convert. I want to just go back to rechop, and I'll do cancel. I can do chop again. I can adjust these levels again. Like, let's say I'm going to try and go, let's give them 50-50, for example. And we'll do it again. And it chops them up again for us. See that? It's helping us figure out where to go with these samples. And you can actually adjust these levels. We can say, for example, well, I see where that's at there, and it could be a little bit tighter. Well, we can move the cursor back over here, and we can move it in, press our cursor key, our shift and our cursor key in which, and then we can, like, see that? We can change the size of this little sample and make it even better than what it is. We can change every sample and line them up perfectly to the right attack we want those samples to be at. That's really cool. Now, let's go back to cancel. We'll go back to chop. And we can also go to equal. Now in this case, it just looks at the sample and makes everything equal. That means each sample reading is going to be equal in size. Watch this. We'll go here. We'll press do it. And as you can see there, they're pretty much equal. It's chopped up. And what you have to do here, you got to go like, well, that's the first one. So now I can go back and say, well, you know, I want to get a tighter front there. I may want to get a tighter number 3 region or a tighter number 4. This region here. It looks like it's almost like halfway through the region. I can go back again with a start time. Press my shift cursor again. Get my increments right. So I can go in large increments. There we go. And now, okay, we got that slice up, so I can change the slices. You can change every individual slice, whether you're in equal or use auto. Now I'll cancel out this, and I'm gonna go back to chop again. And now I'm in equal. So, equally actually. And here I am in auto. So I'll do auto again. I'll press do it. And now it chops up really good for me. I like the way this chop looks here. It looks pretty good. Got the regions all lined up here. They look pretty slick. Nice little regions going on. I probably want to make my regions a little bit longer. Take my first region here, for example. And I want to probably, I don't want this, I'm not really worried about it. But I want that first bass drum, that's for sure. So I can go here and I'll just press this cursor button and go all the way to the end. That's a good one right there. I want my first region to be that one. So I'm going to adjust my regions out how I want them to be. Go back to here. And my second region could be this way. That's pretty good. I like that pretty good. My next region. Next one. So, alright, that's pretty good. Alright, the last one I'll make a little bit better. I'm going to get the length of that end of that thing really good. So make sure readings are right when you do this. I like that better, like that. That's much better. And now I can convert it. I'll press convert. Now I can convert this into a patch phrase. This unique feature in the new MPC2500. This allows us to make this phrase doable, where you can take it and shift it around and do what you want to do with it. Well, check it out. I can keep this release point about at 10. Now release means it's going to add a little bit more extra sound or value to the end of each little piece. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make it so I don't stretch it out too long, just long enough. And the original tempo, I remember, was like 103, wasn't it? So I want to make sure this 103 is my original tempo. So that's 102, 103. There you go, right there. I'll press enter. And now I'll press do it. And now it's made a patch phrase. Now how you can tell it's at a PP to the end of it. It's a brand new sample. We still have our original sample. Number 4 is right there. And next we have, of course, our patch phrase sample. See that? That's a little funny, right? A little different. Now what the patch phrase sample does, it sort of cuts it up, slices it back up, and we get this little patch phrase we can use within our beat. And we'll show that right now. We're going to take this patch phrase and we can change the tempo to it, and we want to change the tempo to it. We'll go back to, let's say, mode, and I'll press program. I'll find a whole brand new program. I'll just say, let me make a new program anyway, somewhere here. So I got a program, I got my cursor here. I'll press window. And now I've got the option to delete the program, make a new program, close, or copy that program. I want to make a new program. I'll press F3. And I'll cause new program. Let's go back in here and turn the dial here. And I'll call it the beat PP. We're going to go to B, E, A, T, and put a P. The cursor one more time, P, for patch phrase. Now I'll press enter and do it. We have a new program. Now here, I can put my patch phrase right there. That's on my first beat. Right there on that first pad, the first beat. Now I can go back to press main screen, and I can actually change the tempo. See, we can change our tempo up or down according to what we want to do, use it, or how we want to use it in our system. Let's see, new unique feature in our MPC 2500. Okay, now I'm going to do some more patch phrase sampling. And in this case, we're going to patch phrase, get an actual sample in, and we're going to turn that sample into a patch phrase so we can use on our MPC 2500 in a patch phrase setting. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick a nice sample up, and I've got one already set in queue here on my CD player. I hear the peak of it sort of like just jumps in. So I'm going to pretty much just set this to like almost a minus 63 there, so I can get the full beginning of this sound when it comes in. Get my level set properly so it's not too loud, it doesn't distort. So I'll make sure I press my peak button. See how loud it gets here. Alright, good. Now I'm ready to start recording. Once it stops, I'm good to go. I'll hit this play to hear it back. Sounds pretty powerful like the way it is, so I'm going to press keep it. I'm going to call this one beat number 3. And we'll press keep. Now it's still queuing back there in the actual sample mode. So now it goes back to sample mode once you've actually taken a sample. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into another mode. I'm going to go to mode and press trim, which is pad number 6. Now here, I'll have that new sample. Here it comes right there. As you can see, by setting the threshold level very low, we still get a lot of the beginning of sampling, which I prefer to do that way I can get a really great sample. The one thing I like to also do is make sure I've got great peaks there, as you can see, loud enough. And this is the right side of our sample. As you can see, it says right. And I can go across over here and go to the left side. That's the left side. As you can see both sides are pretty much just about the same. So it's pretty cool. So now what I'm doing is probably just get a good trim on this sample. I'll go here and I'm going to make sure I get close enough. I'll press the shift and then the left cursor knob. I'll go in 2 decimals, two digits. So go and get a bigger, there you go. To get more increments when I actually turn the dial on my data wheel. You can also move your plus and minus button. Now I want to get closer, so I'm going to go to window and I can see exactly where my sample starts from, how far I want to get B on it. Now, this is the actual analog view we have. If I press linear, and linear gives a view where you can see the actual waveform better. Now with analog though, or logarithm, excuse me, you can see it. This gives it a bigger, wider look of the sample, even though it could be a low-level sample. You get a better view of that sample. And so I'll go back to linear right now, just so I can get a view of the actual waveform. Hit the pad. Make sure I hit right on the top of that first beat there. Right, that sounds pretty good for me right there. Next, I go back into close this and go back to the end part, and then I want to bring this whole end level, this end here, right there, back up to that point. So I'll do that right now. I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to press the shift key and the left dial, move up a couple of digits up there, move in larger increments. I can go out here, one more digit, I'll move in even larger increments, get right real close to it. Then I'll press the window, and I get to look at this window here. I can get a much more refined view. I'm going to get closer and closer to the end of this part of the sample here, which I think could be here. I'm going to go back to logarithm. There we go. And now I think I'm pretty much close to where I want to be at. And I'll hold down the first pad here. That's pretty good. Turn my volume down a little bit. So I got my loop pad held down so I can actually hear it as it loops. I like the way that sounds. I think my loop's pretty good, so I'm going to press close window. And next, of course, I'm going to press my edit button, and I'm going to go back here to discard, and I can get rid of any piece I don't want to have there. So it loops properly. I like the way it loops. So now I want to make it into a patch phrase. How we'll do this, we'll press chop. Now here in chop, we can set the recovery time. That means the time between each section. It's going to chop it up into several different samples. That means it's going to chop the bass drum up, the hi-hats, wherever the attack is the loudest. The attack would be the larger size of the sample. I can cancel, you'll see this These peaks are the attacks, and this little line across there's no attack, nothing happening at all at that point. So this is an attack here, smaller attacks could be hi-hats, snare, kick, whatever. And so I can go back to chop again. I have mine set for recovery of 50 in this case, a threshold level of 60. Now threshold level, this sets the detectable level of the attack. That means the smaller the value, the more sensitive it is to detect the level. If it's very small, it'll see everything as an attack. So you want to make sure the detectable level of the threshold level is pretty much close to where you see, okay, the attack comes, we hear it sound good, and then we don't want to have it look for an attack until the next attack comes. So it sets an actual level where it can trace smaller or a lot of attacks or no attack. And here we have the sensitivity level. Now this sets the sensitivity used while detecting an attack. Now if you select a smaller value, this will make the detecting process more sensitive towards varying attacks. So by setting a small level here, it'll check out attacks that are low, like a little hi-hat, or a bigger bass drum attack in the waveform. I set it for 15 for this particular sample. Now next we'll press do it. And now it will chop my sample up. As you can see here, it's chopped up the samples into several different regions. And the whole idea is to get each region almost exactly where you want it to be. As you can see with my setting, I've got different region settings, so it helps it a little better to actually get the right attack. Now what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to hit a pad. That's that first one. I'll turn the wheel. Second one. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I want to get my whole region of each one of these regions perfect. Because that way, when I actually turn it into a patch phrase, it'll sound similar to the beat, and I can actually turn the tempo. When I want to turn the tempo around, it'll slide back and forth better between tempos. So, first I'll do is I get this region number 13. I'm going to improve the region. You want to get every attack region here perfect. You'll go and say, okay, let's do this right. Let's take this thing in. It's nice there. Let's go to here. Let's go and turn increments in a little bit. And let's move it out. That's good size. I'm going to go back here and bring the front end a little bit so it goes right and attacks well on the front end like that. Then I go to my next region here and I'll move it over here. This region's pretty good. I thought that region's good. I'm going to take this region right here and move it over here and change the attack here. Get it just exactly on that drum right there so I can have it where I want to make sure it's right. You can also open a window, look at it, make sure it's where you want it to be so it attacks right on that drum. And I can get closer to where it's at, right about there, so I want the attack to happen. In the pad, I know that attack is right. You know, I'll close this window here, and I'll go back to the next region I want to maybe fix up. So I'll move the cursor over to my region, and this region's pretty good. That region, I may want to go to here. So I want to adjust each region so it's just about right. Now, I've been working on the machine for a while now, even though it just came out, and we're lucky that my friends over at AKAI in Japan really helped us out with it. But it's a really great machine. I'm just going to try and move these regions a little bit more here. Go back over here, move my cursor here and go next region. And I'll make this region look really nice. Okay, go back over here and let's say, bring this one in. And we're going to here, and we're good. And then we're going to go to the next region. We're going to go over to here. And that's good, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. My problem here, this region here, wait a minute. That's good, that's good. And go to the next one. Oh, these are. And this one here. That's the end of it. That's the end of it sample, I think. So now, I think I'm going to take these first two regions and combine them. I don't think they need to be really separated too much. So I can press edit. I can combine regions also. We can combine regions, we can divide regions, and we can extract a region if you don't want the region to be in there. In this case, I'm going to combine a region. I'll go right here and press 2, and I'll press do it. And now I've combined that first region to the other region. And so now I have a total of 12 regions, as you can see right there. Next, I want to convert this into a patch phrase. I'll press convert. Now here we can do a patch phrase, or we can make it into a slice sample. Slice samples right there. I'm going to turn it into a patch phrase. Here's how I do it. I know the tempo of this actual sample is going to be approximately 91 BPM. There you go. If you want to write actual tempo, it's good to place it in there. Then next, I got a release point. I'm going to use 50 for my release. I'll press do it. And now, I have a sample. It's a patch phrase. You can tell because I have a PP right there for patch phrase. Now, I can go to mode, I go to program. I can put this patch phrase, which right there, B3, patch phrase right there. With the mode, with the program, it's on the first A1 right there. And next what I'll do is I'll go back to main screen and I can now hit turn this up now. Watch this. So you see you can turn the tempo up here and that patch phrase reacts to the tempo. I put the numbers in like 120 right here. And press enter and then so the patch phrase allows us to take a sample and turn the sample into our own sample so it'll actually react to the tempo here on our MPC 2500. Okay, now we want to take this sample and turn it into a slice. Now, of course, you go to chop, as we did before, and we have the auto going on, so I can press the auto chop, which is do it. And now we've got a slice of very sample we want in here. I want to make sure this first sample has got that first beat in it. So I'm going to take it and make sure that this first sample includes that first region in front there. Yeah. Make sure it's included right there in it. And make sure it's right on the beat right there. So, and now we have these different regions, and we can see how many we have here. We have 14 different regions. But the last region here to be even wider than the first one. See how it's just a little piece right there? I want to make sure that region's like big enough for me to actually get a hold of. So, I'm using my pads. That's perfect. Now, I can convert. Now I'll press convert. I can convert it into a patch phrase, or I can convert it into sliced samples. Now sometimes you get a loop or a beat. You might like a snare drum in that beat, or a hi-hat, or the bass drum or something. You might want to slice it up and keep it as your own separate program. And you can do that now with our MPC 2500. As you can see, I've sliced samples. We got the release, and we have the create new program. So here, I want to create a new program. I go to yes. Got my release set right there. Just enough, small enough increments here so that when we actually have the MPC 2500 make up these samples, these little slice samples, there's enough space between the first sample and the next sample if we're using them together. We'll press do it. And now, as you can see, this is one of my samples. Now, but first I want to go press mode and press program. And now I made a whole new program. This is the beat for program, which means P. That's the first sound. Now, see that? They're on separate pads. Each sound has been set up to be on a separate pad in the new program called Beat for P for program. And each one of these pads has a separate slice. Let's check out our program section on the MPC 2500. As you can see here, you can press mode and then press program right there, of course. Now, you see the cursor right here on keen set. This comes with our MPC 2500.
AKAI Professional.
MPC 2500.
See our samples right there. We have volume, tuning, and the range. Now, when you want to create a program, with the cursor here, which says program, right in the middle right there, we can press our window button. Once we do, we can create a new program. Or we can delete the program, we can close the window, or we can copy a program by pressing the corresponding F key. As you can see here, 2, F3, F4, and F5. want to make a new program, I can press F3. Now here in F3, it says program 1. If I want to name it, I'll turn the data wheel 1 space, and then here I can name my sound. I can hit corresponding pads or turn the data wheel itself to where I want to go to. Okay, so we've got our program here, which is the keying set, and of course we have our sample. Now that sample
Professional.
is AKAI Professional. I hit this pad right here.
AKAI
You can see
Professional.
it's velocity sensitive. I'll put my full level on.
AKAI Professional.
Now I can hit that pad
AKAI
one time,
Professional.
it'll play straight through. Well, I can go hit 2, which is AKAI Professional, and now I'm going to hit the window button. There's a light right there. I can make that either one shot, I mean hit it one
AKAI
time,
Professional.
it plays straight through, or I can go here to note on. See, it cuts off. I gotta hold it down,
AKAI Professional.
and note on is on. So we can have either note on, or we can have one shot.
AKAI Professional.
As you see here, we have 1, 2, 3 layers. Okay, what a new program here. This is a program that comes with your MPC2500. This is the patch phrase program. Now here, I picked the sound. Oh yeah, I got a sound right here, which is pad 8 on the A bank. Of course, you can see it right here. Okay, great. It's a sand sound. Watch this. I move the cursor down. This is a new great feature on MPC2500. I move my cursor where it says the volume says 80. You'll press your window button, and now we have the ability to change the envelope and reshape our sample with our amp envelope. Now here, I'll play the sound. I can change my attack. See that? The attack can be changed. We can also change the decay. We're going back up here. We'll change the decay down. See if the decay's faster or even faster. Great decay. We can also go here and change our decay. Switch. See what's coming right here. See that? That's a real quick decay cut right there. We can move back up here, and we can change how fast the decay will decay at. See that? I'll widen it up. That's really hit. Okay, that's really cool with this feature is that we can actually control the velocity attack. Now what this does right here, let me switch right here. Right here is our velocity attack level. Now if I hit the pad, we hear that going on. I'll turn this up here, say 47. See that? I hit it, I'm controlling the attack. That means I can hit it soft, and there's no more attack there. I hit it hard to get my real attack out of it. So it's actually, this remains constant, but depends on the velocity that you hit the pad, you can change how that sound is attacked, how that slope is. I can do the same thing here with this drum loop. I go to drum loop here, I'll turn this on, start, and I'll select this to be something like this. See that? Now, I'll go back to here and change my attack. I'll turn this up even more. See that? Now hit it harder. It depends on how I hit the pad. They're changing the velocity. Do you hear what's going on there? We're actually changing the velocity. This remains constant. I'm just hitting the pad either hard or real hard or softer. See that? That is funky. Okay, we also have here our velocity start. It's that pad right there, see? Now, as you can see, I have it set for 73. I'll go to 0, press enter, and then I hit it softer. See that? And I have my full levels not even on. So that means that's how it sounds. Now watch this. I'm gonna go to my velocity start right here and turn up to about 90. See that? It's getting the end now. Hit it soft, the end. Hit it harder, it's the beginning. Now watch this. So I hit that. It's hard. So I hit it soft, we don't get the beginning attack. But it starts from a certain point depending on how hard the velocity is. So we change the start point according to how hard we hit the pad. Now next, we want to control the velocity. Let's say of a sound through the volume. So go back to here, window, open it up. So I hit this pad here. I'm gonna hear it going on, right? I can go now, turn in only to 100. Watch this. If I hit it softer, it's kind of cool. Let's zoom back a little bit. Let's see my hand hitting at least a little more. And you'll see it right here. See that? I'm hitting softly. You hear it, hit it hard, hit it hard. That's because I increased the volume there. As you can see, right here, it's been increased to 100. Now, if I move that to 0 again, back to 0, and hit my pad, no matter how soft I hit it, or how hard I hit it, it's still the same level of velocity. So the volume is controlled through the velocity that we hit our pad. Here we go. Now, we're also going to use a filter. We'll press the filter sections right here, F2, I press it, and now we're in our filter section on our patch phrase, you can see right here. Now here in the filter section, we can do some unique things that we couldn't do before on our older MPCs. Watch this. I will now press the window button. We can actually have a filter envelope window. Now, I'll press close right here, press F4. And what we can do is select a type of filter. Here we can use a low pass filter. Now, in a low pass filter, only the low frequencies will come through on a sound. See that? Only the low frequencies come through. My next one, we got a band pass. Now here, what John, as I was saying, John's one of our interns here, thinking that this is actually a mid-frequency, right, John?
Yes.
We think like a mid-frequency here that you can actually get out of this. We can get our mids and control our mids to this point. Here in a high pass, only the highs pass. See that? Just the high sounds pass through at that point in this filter. We have a low pass too. We get more bottom. Hear that? More bottom through this filter. So we have the choice of our low pass 2, high pass, and our band pass, which we think is mostly more mid-range. And here our low pass 1, which is the first low pass we use. Now I can hit this low pass here. I can go to here and change the frequency of the lows that go through. Now I'm getting more high. See that? We're getting more of what's in the actual sample, the high end of the sample again. Now here when I find a specific frequency I like, I can go into my resonance and increase that frequency. Now if I get it to start to distort some, if that distorts any at all, you normally go here and we could lower it by 6 dB or lower it by 12 dB. See that? And it sounds a little better if it's not, if here it could be distorting. If it is distorting, control it here. Now, once I select the type of filter I want to use, I can then press the window button. And now we see the filter envelope field. Okay, now I can hit that pad, and I'll go here. See the volume here? The amount. I can go the amount either plus or the amount minus. See, nothing happens here. See that? That's all based on time. See that? I'm going to go wide too. See that? That's the time. That's based on the time value set here, and this will be the amount that adjusts to this time. I'm hitting the pad down. Now, I'll go back here to my time, turn my time to the plus side. See it change? It sort of changed the sound again. See that sound change a little bit more? That's kind of cool. You can actually develop your own sounds and tweak them out. Now, it's important for you to adjust, sort of relax the day, to sit down and experiment with how you can actually adjust your filters and your filter envelope section. Now, of course, here in this section, we also have, again, our velocity control through time. We'll go back here. We can change this up to here. I'm going to turn this up here. Velocity control through time. Hit it softer. Hit it. Softer velocity. It's changing. See? It depends on velocity. And we can control the filter envelope through time. I'll go back to 0 here. You can also do it through amount. You can change this amount, can be changed to velocity. See the amount change? I'll put it softer. And we can go -2. And I can change the frequency also through velocity. So depending on how we hit it, we can control the velocity with frequency, can control the velocity. Velocity also control the amount, and the velocity control the time. Here's our time, here's our amount, and here's our frequency. Now what we also notice here in this filter change section here, is you'll see here, now see this here, I've got this value set for 50, that's my time. Now watch this, I'm going to set my time to be longer now. Nothing, right? Now I'll move it back further, closer. See it? It's rising. That's kind of cool. So you actually set that, I'll go here. See, it took faster. So this time value is the time it takes for that filter to react. Here it's moving up slowly into it. Here, if we set this to plus sign, it's starting out earlier than it normally should start out, and it gets to the original point later on within the sample. So you go, it went down. I can change my time point even longer. See the change? So it's important for you to experiment and get great sounds. You can do that with this new MPC2500. Now what you can also do here when you got a sound, we can link filters together. Here we go to here, and we link, and they'll link it so that these two filters are doing the same thing, making it more powerful. So we are linking two filters together, and this is going to be the main filter, so both of these filters are doing the same thing right here. You can actually layer sounds. Now here, of course, we see MPC2500. I'm going to move to a different pad here. Good, I'm on pad A11. It's bank A, and that's pad number 11. As you can see, we have these volume, tuning, and range. Well, we can go down here, move the cursor down once, and we can add another sound to play along with the current sound we already have. And we can go to here and say, play a little shaker right there. Hear that little there? I can go here and play a cymbal. Let's hear this thing. Hear this. See that? It's a cymbal on that also. Move the cursor down one more time. I can play this blip. I can go down one more time. I'll pick another sample to play at the same time. And whenever I strike the pad, all these sounds will play. See that? We can also control the volume of each one of those sounds. I can go here to the bass, this low bass here, lower the bass volume. See that? So we can actually layer sounds. Now why this is important to know is because what you do as a professional, what most guys do, is we layer sounds. We'll add maybe a big drum here, a thinner drum here to match the two drums up, so you get a little bit of highs to go along with that big bass drum. We'll even do that with bass lines, or even sometimes I'll do that with some hi-hats. So I get two flavors of one hi-hat, it turns into a new hi-hat. It's kind of really cool. And you can also change, of course, the volume and the tuning of each one of these sounds. Okay, we've got our sound there, of course, AKAI Professional. I'll press the pad there, and you can see we got our tuning, the pitch. We can change the pitch of the sound.
AKAI Professional.
See,
AKAI Professional.
AKAI Professional. See, the little scrolly sound.
AKAI Professional.
Get that really deep. And that's how we do our Darth Vader sound right there. It's kind of cool. We can not just go in these larger increments. We can go in smaller defined increments here by going further out with our cursor button and turning the data wheel. See that? And we can also punch the numbers in. We can go like 0, 2, 2, 2, and then press enter, and we got the exact pitch you might want to be at or near. This goes 0, 0, 0, 0, enter, and right back to our normal fine-tuning start point. Now here we also have the range. These are the range. This is a velocity range. That means I can hit this pad,
AKAI Professional,
and that sound hits there. I go hear this bass sound, for example, and I may put another sound here. Let's put a different sound here. And so we can say, for example, that at this pad, we want to hear this when we hit it really hard, let's say, at that velocity. But at a lower velocity, we can hit differently. So I turn my full level button off, and I'll hit the pad. So I hit it real soft, or I hear that little hit it hard, I hear the bass. So different velocity levels, meaning how hard we strike the pad, we can actually have it going on there. I'll go back to here, I'll pull it down to here, I'll make this like 75. I'll put the numbers in, make it 74, press enter, and now, see, I press soft, I get that psst. I press hard, I get the bass sound. So we can control the velocity level of any sound we put here in our layers. That's really cool. What's so cool about our layers being that way, this works great for hi-hats. You may have a hi-hat over here, and let's say you get a hi-hat in, and we've got a hi-hat right there. That's a closed hi-hat. And we can go, see? So we got one level of this little wind thing and then a hi-hat. And you can have the bottom one be an open hi-hat, we'll say, or even harder hitting different hi-hat. See that slow thing? That's a merge right there, see that? But we can actually change our different hi-hat, make a bit similar, let's say for example. So you can change varying sounds between your closed hi-hat and your open hi-hat. Okay, we also have parameters. We're going to press F3. Now here in parameters, we can have a sample. Ooh, bass sample. We're in our bass section. Okay, now watch this. I have each sample selected as mono. So let's go down here further. They're mono. Now watch, go to poly. See, it's the poly also. Watch this. So they're overlapping. You hit it many times, it does it more than one time. If you go to mono, then it starts from the beginning every time you hit it over again. And here, I'll put this just to mono. Now, when you have a mute group, the next thing I have is a mute group right below that. This is a mute group. This makes sure, let's say, this is mute group 2. That means here, everything in mute group 2 will cut each other off. If I play this first sample, or play the sample by itself, or play this one. Let's get a longer one. Here's one right there. See that? So it cuts off each sample. Now if it's not in the mute group, and we turn this mute group thing off here, for each one of these samples, and turn this off here, turn that off there, we go. See that? See, and they're overlapping each other. So sometimes you get a nice sample you want to keep. You have varying samples. Here we have different bass sounds. This program can be found, of course, on our MPC2500. It comes with it. It's called the Bass Ace. That we can work your mute group along with your poly, which is your voice overlap, to get the right flavor for your sound. So we have our mute group, as you can see there. Now how this works is that we have 32 different mute groups, because we can have 32 different sample sounds. You got that? So we can have 32 different mute groups. So for this group here, this will be my bass mute group, I would call this, but this will be group 2. And there in group 2, any one of my samples that is set to group mute 2 or mute group 2, they will be cut off when the other sample is heard. Now I'll put us back to 2 right here. Put us back to 2 right here. See that? And they're all set to the same mute group. So when certain sounds to that same mute group, then those sounds are cut off because they're set to the same mute group. Okay, now we have here also, we've got our mute target. This is how it works. We're going to play a sound, have another sound, cut it off. Here's how it works. We'll say we want this drum, which is the kick drum, to cut off 8. That's set to 8. See that? Then we go back here to play this. See, it cuts it off. So we can actually have this target a specific sound we want to cut off when the sound hits. That cuts it right off. Okay, we've seen that feature. This is kind of cool. We can also go and say, we got a loop. Pretty cool loop. It's a patch phrase loop. We got it right there. We can go this loop. Let's say we can go to edit. We'll press edit. We got the ability to actually time stretch a sample. We can go right directly back into our trimming field or our editing of our sample field, and we can go back into time stretching. It'll tell us the original tempo, but if you know the original tempo already, put it in there already for you. And this will be our new tempo. We can adjust it to whatever preset we want, as we showed earlier, and set that preset to be within, as close to the parameters of what we think that sound's going to be. For example, this is a drum loop. So what I want to probably do, I go to here, and of course I look for like a drum loop or some sort of high freak or low freak rhythm. I'll go to right here. I can maybe a mid freak rhythm setting. I can set A, B, or C, with A being the easier equation, B being a little harder, and C being the best. That means I'll calculate it. It'll make it just about perfect to what the original sample sound was once we change the tempo of that particular time stretching. Great features. We love the machine. This is cool too. We're in parameters, of course. We can press edit. And in edit, we can go to pitch shift, not just time stretch. We're going to pitch shift. Here in pitch shift, I got it set there for -12. Let's put it for like maybe -6 or something. -6. Okay, I pick my sound. That's the sound I want to pitch shift. I press do it. We'll try it. Let's play it. Whoa, I might like it. You know, we may like it. Hey, we can retry or keep, or we can overwrite the original, which is this overwrite right here. If you want to do it, keep it. If not, press F4 and retry it again. Okay, so check this out. We also have our note. We go to note right here, and we can select the specific MIDI note that is a trigger. That means, let's say we have another drum machine or another sequencer. We can trigger other sounds and make this sound, okay, this will be D138. Or I can make that to be D sharp 1 or E. And that means when I hit this note and I have it connected to my keyboard and the MIDI out information will be sent to the keyboard, I'll play this note on the keyboard. You can set any pad for any specific note you want to set it for in this feature. We also have here our LFO. So our LFO is really cool. Now this changes the LFO of a particular, and we can go by depth too, and pitch. That's hot there, go. So you can change the LFO and then change your pitch depth. We can change the rate. Now it's important for you, I can do this all day long, you've got to sit down and go over these features. Understand how you can change that on that one particular sample. You can change the rate. And we'll go back down here again. Or we can change the rate. We can change the delay. See the delaying back there? We can change the filters. It's kind of cool. For filter 1, see that? Filter 1, filter 1? The amount for filter 1. The amount for filter 2. So, experiment and learn. Now, LFO means low frequency oscillation. As you can see here, when it's on 1, it's faster. 2, slower. 3, so it's oscillating back and forth. Control the pitch. Remember that. Okay, I've got my beat right here. As you can see, I've looped it at 90 BPM. You can see it right there. Okay, that's what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to actually, let me name this track actually. I can do that up here. I can go to a window and I can name the track. Of course, I'll go to here. And I can name it beat. Hitting my pads that correspond to the letters. I put the beat right there with the cursor over one space, then hold the shift bar down, and then trigger off the left cursor button. And we got it. Now I'll press enter. That's the name of that track. I'll press close. That track is named beat. Always name your tracks. It's important to know where you are in any session you're doing, particularly doing some music, you know what I mean? You don't want to get lost and come back. What track was that? I have no idea. Oh my God. So here we go. Check this out. This little beat here. Now I've got one track up here. Have some bass sounds on this actual thing. You can pan back a little bit, you have no idea what I'm doing right here. I want to record that. I go to here, press record, and press play start. So I'm going to press record and play start right there. But first, I want to get a click actually. Let me go to here first. I want to get a count off. So right here, we're going to have a count off. That's why I want a count off right there. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to say, I want like a count off and record only. That's cool. I'll close this. And I'll get a 4-click count off, which is a quarter note count off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. That's it. Now I'm gonna use a no repeat right here. So I'm gonna turn this off here. If I put this on and press overdub and press play, I'm gonna overdub. In this case, I'm gonna turn it off right now and practice the part. I got it now. Watch this. So I'm gonna go back to play. Put the record here. Try again. Watch this now. I like that better. It's missing the last time. That's much better. So now, I'm going to go to another track. I can't even name that track there. I might name that track. I'll go to open window. I'll call this track bass. B. Move the cursor over. A. And then S. Cursor one more time, S, cursor one more time, press the shift and the left arrow key and press enter. That's my bass. Press close, and that track is the bass track. Now I've got my bass track down. We're on a new track now. Add some sort of different effect sound. Now most of these sounds here you're going to find on the actual preset sounds they give you from AKAI. So it makes it easy to do a little demo for you. And you can do it yourself at home. I'm going to press my next bank, which is going to be my B bank right there. And it's the sound I want to use. So I'm going to go back to here and press record and play. Got our 1 bar count off there. So watch. 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go. Some sort of effect in the back, kind of funky. Press my mode, go to my mixer button, and now I can see the sound right here. So now I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lower that sound down. Bank B, pad 4, and I'll bring it down somewhat. Go in the background, you know? Add a little effect to the background of the track. That's kind of cool. Now I'll press the main button right here in the front. I'm going to press this main key right here and right back in the main screen. So the track is still moving along here. I can still keep producing. I turn off my overdub, so now I can go back into it. This was on earlier. I'll turn it off now. And now I can actually check out tracks and some other stuff out too. Now I'm going to name that track, I guess I'll call it Water. Sounds like water to me, so I can name that track. Go to here. I'll press the window button, of course, and we got the track name up. We'll turn the dial 1 time, and now we can put the word water in there. I'll hit my corresponding pads. That's a W, A, then a T, then an E, and then an R. Alright, move the cursor over once, then press the shift and the left cursor to erase the buttons, erase the actual other words there. I have water, press close, I'm good. Now a new track. This is called the CDS track. It's in our preset sounds that we have on our MPC. Looking for some sounds. I like that sound. It goes back and forth. So sometimes I want to tune a sound up and make a fit a track. You know, give it that kind of flavor where I can take that one sound and pitch it anywhere I want to. Here's how I would do that, of course. I'm going to press over here my 16 levels button, which is right over there. Bam! Of course, it's right there. It doesn't light up, of course, you can see, but it does give us right here in the window our assigned 16 levels to any particular sound. I picked this sound here called the Melt, M-Melt on pad 10. And I'm set for tuning, so I can tune the sound up. The original tuning, which this note here, would be pad number 4. So I can press turn on, and then, but watch this. So we have that one sound on many different pads tuned. Okay, we got this new sample here. I've got a little pitched up. Good. It's time to start making the beat up. I'm going to press this record button and play start. Kind of cool. Probably bring the level down. Go to mode, go to mixer. That was actually sound number 10 here. Not too loud, loud enough. Now sometimes I have to actually turn my full level off. I don't want to have this full level long because every time I hit a sound it'll be the same level. I started the last time we played. I want to play it soft or play it loud. So it builds up, you know? It's important to have some dynamic sense to your music. It's very important. That way, the listener can actually get some sort of vibe from the sound, rather than everything being all full level. There's that essence in the background, the beat pumping, the bass line pumping. There's some sort of instrument gliding over the top of the sound. It's kind of funky. So I just press softly or press harder. It's velocity sensitive. So I kept the full level off. Then I tuned that sample up. And I know that sample's actually at A10. And I lowered the level here so I get a nice level in the track. I'll press play. And my beat's still dominating the track. And the bass line's there. It's like the groove going on. We got our beat right here. I'm gonna level down. Now the unique thing about this MPC, the really unique thing now is that we can record maybe some vocals inside this thing. This is kind of really cool. And how we do this, I'm gonna take this cable right here and I put it in the back of my MPC into my record in on the left, like we showed you in the beginning of our video. Next, I'm gonna go and press input through. Got input through right there? That's pretty cool. Now, once I got my input through going on, look here on the screen here. Look at our screen so it says right here. We'll zoom in so you can see this real cool idea we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of vocals right there. And you can see right here on the screen where it says off. See that? It says input through is off. I'm going to move my data wheel or press the data button, and now it's on. Now you can hear me talking through the mic. That's me, the DOC. Right there on the microphone, guys. I'm talking to you live. Hi, what's up, what's up, what's up? And what we're going to do right now, we're going to show you how you can record audio into your MPC 2500. It's off the hook. Check this out. Now, I got the vocals going on. I also can add some sort of effect to my vocals also at the same time, as you can see here through the input. I can play the beat even. Watch this, I'll play the beat. Yeah, of course I'm rhyming. I'm rhyming with the beat on time. I'm a whack rapper, I can't rhyme. They say, get off the mic, Doc, you ain't on time. Yeah, that's right, I'm really whack, guys. But as you can see, now you can practice along with your beat. It's kind of funky and really cool. Not just that, you can go right here and we can add some sort of effect to the beat. Like, watch this. Oh, I got that bass. Like, I'm almost, wait, what's going on, guys? How you doing? Oh, dude, watch this. Hey, what's going on? Can I help you, please? You want aisle 4, please get that item. Madam, put it down, please. Look at that. Amazing. We'll go back here to full low pass and take the resonance off. We can also do this so we can use the high bandwidth. As you can hear right now, that's got that real high bandwidth going on. I can turn up more of this actual resonance right here and bring this down a little bit more and get a little closer to that kind of different sound. How you doing, please? Can I help you, please? That's really cool, right? We go back over here again. We can use a high pass filter, which you can hear all the highs there. And I can use the frequency and the resonance and then the attenuation right there. So, I'll turn this off for now. No need for this right now. There we go. And we have this audio going into our MPC. Now I can also actually sample this, but first I want to go to, let's say, mode and go to record and check something out here. I'm in main out, don't want to be there. I want to pretty much go to analog in. See that? Now you can see I'm on the left side. It's going to get that one side there. I want to go maybe to a mono record, for example, right here. And that's what I want to have, a mono going up right. It's pretty cool right there. I like that totally. Now, I can record into my track also. I got a good level here. I like the level that's going on right now. It's kind of funky. And I'll go back to my main sequence. I'll press the main button. So we'll draw the camera back so you can watch every element of this and see what we're going to do here. We're going to do a little recording. I'm going to press the main button right here. And we pressed it. Now we're going to go right back in with the camera. And we're going to show you something else here. We're going to go to here and move the cursor down to where it says drum. Now we open a window. And right there it says direct recording. Pressing turn on will enter direct recording mode. Pressing turn on will enter direct recording mode. Got that? I'll press the turn on and not going to record this track. Let's cancel that. I want to go to a fresh new track. A fresh track, a new track. Always go to new track when you want to record directly into your MPC on a specific track. Now, I'll go here, and now I'll move the cursor down one more time here, and I'll press enter. Press window. Now it says pressing turn on will enter direct recording mode. I'll press turn on, and now I'm in direct recording mode right here in this particular track. Okay, I got my mic right here. It's dark in the hills. For those you don't know, I'm the DOC. All right, so let's get busy here. We're going to go right there. Got the input through on. We've got our mode going on. We'll press the mode button. We'll press the record. I'm making sure that, look, I'm here. I got my input to the left and right. Just making sure I'm on the left side and we're in a mono record situation. I'll go here in mode. I'm going to go here to hit the sequence edit. Now, I know I got 2 bars. Watch this. I'm going to take these 2 bars and I'm going to put them after the 2 bars. I'm going to do it 7 times. So I got 16 bars of the same loop over and over. I got a special track, a new track, a program also to put the sample onto. I'm going to go right down here to the drum part. It says drum type. And I'll press window. I can now press turn on to enter recording mode. And I'm recording mode. I can press play start here. When I'm ready to record, I'll press F6. Here we go. That's right, I'm the doc and I'm not so tight. My rhymes are whack and I think you should appreciate that. I got the wackest rhymes in the planet and my brother's even whacker than me. We call ourselves whack 1, 2, 3, but whacker than anyone who ever could rhyme. I don't even rhyme on time. I can't even know what a rhyme is. I know how to even rhyme. Okay, enough of that whackness. Now I'm going to stop this recording right there. The recording has stopped. Now I'll press the pad. That's where I want the sample to be at. It says record event, yes. Keep, yes. We'll press play, start from the top. But first, I'll turn my mic down so you can still hear it. So turn it down. We don't want to hear the microphone. We practice a little bit. We'll turn it down. I'll put it right over here for myself. And I want to play back the track. That's right, I'm the doc and I'm not so tight. My rhymes are whack and I think you should appreciate that. I got the wackest rhymes in the planet and my brother's even whacker than me. We call ourselves whack 1, 2, 3, but whacker than anyone who ever could rhyme. I don't even rhyme on time. I can't even know what a rhyme is. I know how to even rhyme. Okay, enough of that whackness. Let's stop. That's how it works. It's really cool. So now I can say cancel. I'm through recording. And if I want to like fix the level of that track, I can go back to mix and I'll press the mode button. I'll press the mixer right here. I think I put it right there in D. I'll bring the sound down and I'll play it again. I'm the doc and I'm not so tight. My good level, see? You should appreciate that. You can actually rhyme put a track into your MPC and get that track going along.